Why am I like nervous to do this video? Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, my name is Taylor. I am so happy that you are here. This video is going to be slightly different from the usual vlogs that I put out because of the fact that I am turning 27 tomorrow, which is weird. A very weird feeling because half of me feels every bit of 27 in terms of the life experiences that I've had so far, and the other half of me still feels like I'm 20 and I'm trying to figure out how to survive. So with that being said, I don't know if it is the Cancer in me, but I feel like I've learned a few things over the years that I wish I knew when I was in my early 20s. And so we are going to do a get ready with me while I tell you some life advice and things that I've learned over the past few years and want to share with you guys. I've been thinking about this video for a few weeks now, and with that being said, I have a few things that I have written down on my phone just so I can collect my thoughts and not forget anything important. Alright, so the first thing that we're doing is we're going to prep the skin. I have the Merit Great Skin Serum that I'm going to start with. So being 27 definitely feels, I don't know why, a lot of other birthdays that I have had lately, it feels different. Like I feel my age for once, which is weird to say because I just have never really felt like that before, and I've never looked at like any age that I've turned and been like, wow, like that's old. Which is so bad to say on the internet, but I feel like 27 is just like an age where like you're now considered to be more of an adult. I feel like that because your early 20s are a mess, they're chaotic, they're insane, and then your mid 20s, which are like 24, 25, 26, they're like the time when like you're getting your training wheels kind of, but like if you make mistakes, people are still like, oh, they're in their mid 20s, like they're just figuring it out, it's fine. But once you hit 27, it's like, I wouldn't say well seasoned, but you're an adult. Like you're definitely an adult. There's no question about that. Next, we're going in with my Whoa Glow sunscreen that I love and I use all the time. So I have everything written down on my phone, and we're gonna start off very small. I come from a pretty small family. I have a younger brother and I do not have any other siblings. Now that I'm older, I understand that family dynamics are so different, and I always wonder what my life would have been like if I had a big sister. And so I never had a big sister, and I always kind of became that big sister figure to other people. So this is just some wisdom that I would impart on anyone who's ever wanted a big sister, anyone that feels like they're kind of lost in their 20s, they're still trying to figure it out. I definitely have not figured it out at all, but I've definitely learned some lessons that are helping me figure it out. So I kind of wanted to share that with you guys. We're doing what we always do. You guys should know this by now. Mixing these two together, they're my favorite ever, the Lumi Glotion and the Dream BB Pure Skin Tint from Maybelline. Okay, if we consult my little list, we are going to start off really easy. And that's gonna be to take photos of everything. You should take photos of literally anything that makes you like stop and pause for a second, any moment that makes you stop and pause for a second. Honestly, I'm just a huge fan of documenting every single thing that I do, and it's not because of like content creation, it's not because I want to show the internet. Of course that's like part of the reason why as well, but a huge reason that I always think about in terms of why I take photos of everything is because we are so lucky and blessed to live in a generation right now where we had that technology at our fingertips. And now that I'm a little bit older and I just care more about my family, I feel like when you're younger, like you're just so focused on your friends and like going out and partying and stuff. Like, and now that like I'm a little bit older, I feel like this is something that you learn as you get older, and it's probably not something that you might understand when you're really young, but like I would have killed to see photos of my parents when they were my age. I would have killed to know what they were doing. I would have wanted to know how they looked, who they were friends with, like what they were eating, where they were traveling. Like, yes, photos were a thing back then. Like, parents have photos, but like I don't have so many photos of my parents when they were younger, and I feel like that's a gift that I definitely do want to give my children. Like I want my children to feel like they knew me when I was their age and they knew what my life looked like, because I feel like we look at our parents and we just think of them as mom and dad, and we don't think of them as like human beings that have had all of their own life experiences as well. So take photos of everything, you guys. It will one day be so cool to be able to show your kids what your life was like, especially in your 20s, before they met you, before they were born. It will be amazing to be able to show your kids that. So that's my first thing. I have really begun documenting my life, which is a huge reason why I started this YouTube channel. Like, yes, I love making content. I want to grow a community and everything, but also like to be able to show my kids one day, like, this is what your mom's life was like before she had you, like this is what she did, this is where she traveled. I think that's going to be a huge gift that this generation is going to be able to give our future generations, and so I definitely want to be able to contribute to that. Next, we're going to do the Color Stay Skin Awaken. None of these products are new. These are all the ones that I use all the time, constantly, so you guys should be fairly familiar with them if you follow me any other social media channels, or if you've seen any other Get Readies with me that I have done. But the Color Stay Skin Awaken by Revlon is one of my favorite concealers. It is caffeine and vitamin C in the concealer, and it's also very buildable, so I've been absolutely loving this stuff. I do a lighter shade in the corner of my eyes right here, and then I'll take my regular shade and I will just cover up any breakouts or acne spots. All right, my next piece of advice is about friendships. This is something that has taken me quite a lot of time to figure out, and I feel like it's really important as you get older. So a lot of our friends we've met when we were younger, and as we get older in our 20s, it's definitely going to be like a huge transitional life experience. I always think about this, like our entire lives we have been on the same path as all of our friends. We've all gone to school together, we've all had after school activities, we've even done some after school activities together. I grew up dancing my entire childhood with the same group of girls that I became super close with, and they're still my best friends to this day. But we pretty much had the same exact schedule, and that really allowed us to grow up and be so super close together and form those like crazy close connections. But what I wasn't prepared for is that when we went to college, we all were kind of like figuring out our own life paths, and a lot of those very much differed from the other, which is an amazing thing and should definitely be celebrated. But in the moment, it just feels like you're growing apart from your friendships and basically learning with your friends things about themselves that you never knew. So it's very important to like grow with your friendships. You and your friends are going to change drastically throughout your 20s, and I think something that was hard for me was like, I don't like change, and so I was like grasping onto the way that my friends used to be, instead of learning that they're becoming new people and they're growing older and they're changing, they're finding new interests, new hobbies, and I need to kind of grow with them and support them in that instead of clinging on to who they used to be. Growing with your friendships is definitely a hard thing, but it's a really important thing. And when you take a step back and you realize that like they're not changing their personalities to their core, like they're still your friend that you've always known, but they're just evolving as a human being, I think that really creates like a healthy boundary of friendship. To expect someone to be the same person their entire life is honestly kind of a crazy concept. For contour, we are doing the Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer by Mario. I love this stuff, you guys can clearly tell, but I haven't used it in a little bit because I haven't been doing a full beat recently. Tonight I am going to the beach. I'm gonna do some content, and then I'm also honestly just gonna take some time and sit and reflect and like have a little date with myself, because I have a crazy feeling that 27 is gonna be a really big year for me. I'm gonna have a lot of changes in my life this year, and I want to just be present and like really reflect, which honestly brings me to my next point, which is like reflect more. A lot of times we can go through the movements of life and I feel like we can catch ourselves being upset or frustrated that like these big things aren't happening for us, or like when they do, we kind of not forget about them quickly, but like we just are so like we move on to the next thing rather quick. And I think that's definitely a generational thing for this generation, given how quickly our childhoods have changed with the emergence of technology. But I digress. I think it's really important to reflect with yourself and be like, okay, this time a year ago I was here and now I'm here. And I think when you do that, you really realize how much you as a person accomplish and like how much your life does change in probably ways like you really wouldn't think about on a day-to-day basis. But when you look at it like in a year span, I bet you'll be like, wow, like a lot has changed and I didn't even really realize it. So that's something that I really try to do when I'm feeling like stuck or complacent, or I'm feeling like I want change and I don't have any like upcoming big changes in my life, is a way to just be like, okay, like where was I a year ago? Where am I now? and what has changed in that period of time. And I think that if you do that, oftentimes you will see that a lot has changed, whether it's hobbies and passions that you've picked up, or you moved, or you got a new job, like things of that sort. So that's definitely something that I try to do pretty often, and when I do it, I'm almost always shocked at like how many things have changed in just a relatively short span of a year. And within that comes giving yourself a lot more credit. This is the Merit Blush Balm in Cheeky. I definitely suffer from imposter syndrome a lot. I feel like a lot of people do as well, and I feel like that's a pretty common thing, especially in my generation, of not really like understanding and valuing my own worth. So definitely give yourself credit. It's always easy to look at people online and say they're doing this, they're doing that, I'm not doing enough, but you are doing enough. You're doing your best, and I think it's really important that you take some time and really give yourself credit where credit's due. Surviving is hard enough, so give yourself credit, you guys. You're doing better than you think you are. You're probably your hardest critic, and you should be your biggest fan. So definitely always take some time and realize that the imposter syndrome is fake, and you are absolutely doing enough, and you are enough, and that you should really focus on how to utilize that as your superpower instead of constantly like being down on yourself. That's really it for my base. I don't need to do anything super heavy. I also really normally don't wear such heavy makeup to begin with. Like that's pretty much the heaviest type of base that I'll do. So now I'm just gonna go in with the Laura Mercier translucent powder just to kind of take away some of the little too glowy points from my T-zone area. Then we're gonna move on to brows. I definitely don't do brows correctly, I guess you could say. I use an eyeliner pencil because I ran out of my other brow stuff. So now I just use my eyeliner, which is probably not great, but whatever, I don't care. Only until I get some new stuff in the mail. Okay, so my next piece of advice that I see a lot, and I see it a lot from younger generations, but I also see it in my own too, is just to not get too jaded. I don't think that life is lived best when you are a jaded person. I think it's really easy to become jaded. I think that, you know, having access to social media the way that we do, we see so much more content that anyone on earth literally has ever seen in their life. So it's easy to feel like we've been there, done that for almost everything. But I really do think that living a super jaded life, I think it takes a lot of the fun out of life, and I think it creates just like an overall seriousness that is really not necessary. I didn't say what that product was. This is the NYX Epic Smoke Liner, but I used it for my eyebrows, which it still worked. It was still fine. And I'm sorry for this like stream of light coming across me as I take this video. Now I'm going in with the e.l.f. Wow Brow. But life is just not fun when you're jaded, and I honestly truly think that you should try to make your life as fun as you possibly can. We're all only here for a very limited time. Don't be jaded, you guys. Celebrate like the small things in life that are like so obviously there to make people happy, whether that's like having a fun beach day with your friends or celebrating literally anything. Like I feel like that oftentimes people can be like, I don't know why, the first example that pops into my head is Valentine's Day, but I feel like people can always be like, oh, like Valentine's Day, I hate that holiday, or like anniversaries, or like work celebrations, little like a job promotion. People can just be like, oh, like it's just another thing, like I shouldn't make a big deal out of it. Okay, I just shifted a little bit, so I think that's gonna help, but make the big deal out of it, you guys, because there's only so many times that we get to celebrate these things. And one day you're gonna look back and you're gonna be like, damn, like that was a milestone and I kind of just let it pass. I didn't really do anything about it. And life is just way too short to not celebrate any like wins, small wins, anniversaries, acting like your birthday is not a big deal. Like those things are occasions for a reason, and I'm always a big proponent of like celebrating stuff, because we should be happy. When you're celebrating things, like you're happy, you're in a good mood, you're giving notice to like an accomplishment. So you should always celebrate everything, even small wins, and don't let yourself be jaded when it comes to things like that. Okay, my brows are done. I'm gonna go back in with the eyeliner, and then we will get into some mascara. I really like this stuff because it has a brush on the bottom of it, so it's really easy to like smoke out, and I love doing a smoky winged eyeliner. Something that definitely took me a long time to figure out, and I really only didn't figure it out until recently, I would say like the last year or so, is guys, stop following trends. Stop following trends. Stop feeling like you have to follow trends. You don't. I feel like more recently trends have been popping up quicker than ever and more rapidly because of how many different ways that we can reach each other on social media. And so I honestly feel like every single day I'm seeing a new trend. Originally when that came out, I was like, oh, a new trend, like I have to jump on this. So I would stress myself out and spend money on trends only for them to be not a thing in a few months. And in doing so, I would spend money on trendy things, trendy clothes, and then I would wear it out and I wouldn't feel like my best self. I wouldn't feel authentic in what I was wearing, which is a huge thing. And I just ended up always regretting the money that I spent on trying to be trendy. And now, don't get me wrong, there's some girls out there where being trendy is like their thing. They do it flawlessly. They always look amazing, and they really enjoy like fashion trends from like a passion hobby standpoint. And if that's you, then like pop off, follow all the trends you want. But that's not me, and so if that is not you, you don't have to follow a trend, because that's what they are. They're trends. They'll pass. I would say instead of focusing on trends, focus on what your style is and like what makes you feel the best when you wear it and you put it on your body. And then I would base your wardrobe really around that instead of focusing around what's trending. I'm just gonna bring this down on like the bottom half of my waterline, and then I always like to do right top corner. Okay, moving in with the Benefit Roller Lash Mascara. My last piece of advice for you guys that goes right in line with feeling authentic in what you wear is feeling authentic in who you surround yourself with. You do not have to hang out with anyone for any reason other than being around them makes you feel good about yourself. If you ever are hanging out with someone and you leave them and you feel either, oh, was I good enough? Was my outfit good enough? Like, did I talk about cool things? Then you should not feel like you have to hang out with them. Your friendship group should be filled with people that make you feel like your most authentic self and people that really value you as a person instead of what you can bring to the table. I always say a huge indicator for like how close I am to someone is if I can sit on the couch with you in complete silence and both of us like be on our phones, or someone's doing work, someone's reading, like whatever it is, if both of us are in silence and I'm comfortable with that and I feel like it's a comfortable silence, then I will consider you to be one of my best friends. We're double layering, you guys, today. So we're going with the Maybelline Colossal Lash. People that you constantly feel like you have to fill that gap with, like that conversational gap, or you feel like that you have to look a certain way when you're with them or dress a certain way, or you have to drink a lot when you're with them, party a lot, like whatever it is, those are not your people. And it's okay for those to not be your people. They can still be acquaintances, you can still see them like on a regular basis, but they just don't have to be like your true best friends, and that's fine. As you grow older, I think it's really important to learn that you will have multiple different types of friends in your lives. You'll have friends that you go out with, you party with, you have such a good time with. You'll have friends that are your friends from childhood that you guys may have grown in separate directions, but like you'll still have an amazing friendship when you do meet up every few months. You have friends that are your friends that you can sit on the couch in your pajamas in all day and do absolutely nothing and still feel fulfilled after you hang out with them. So don't hang out with someone if they make you feel like you are not your best self when you leave them. Lastly, this is a new little trick that I haven't showed you guys. I don't even know where I got this. I got this from, the brand is Palladio. I saw it on TikTok and I honestly bought it. It was like $6 on Amazon, and it's a lip stain. Like it literally looks like a marker, and I've been using it. I can't really talk when I do this, but I've been using it as like a lip liner. I honestly feel like it stays so much better than actual lip liners, and it's like the perfect berry color. So I've really been liking that. And then what I'll do is I'll just take any clear gloss and I'll put it right on top. It very much gives like the 90s effect that I'm really digging right now. Alright, you guys, and that is the finished product. I am gonna go to the beach now. I'm gonna take some content. I'm honestly just gonna enjoy a night by myself. I will probably sit and reflect a little bit, think about what I want my next 27 years to look like, what I want my next year to look like for myself. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you at least take one piece of advice away from this that you feel like you might use in your everyday life. Let me know if you like these videos. Let me know if you want some more of these videos. I didn't share too much. I just shared some of my favorite pieces of advice that I've picked up over the years. Leave some of your favorite advice down in the comments. I would love to see any advice that you guys live your lives by. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more from me in the future, and I really hope to see you in the next one. Bye.